Hello everyone and welcome back to today's video. Today I am checking out Emergency Response Simulator, which has been going around the FiveM community in the past couple weeks since its release, and a lot of people have been asking me to check it out. So today I am going to do that. I'm going to show you how to install it, and we're going to go ahead and play it for a little bit and see kind of how we can get into it. Overall, I'm going to install the required portions in this video. There are other portions, such as they have like a night shifts, same company type setup, but with a MDT system. And they also have like a natural disaster resource as well, which obviously if you throw in the same server can all kind of be used together. These two will have their own separate videos. I'm going to do this video on just the ERS install and the setup, and then I will do a solo video for the MDT. And I'll show how you can connect that to all of the other stuff we've already installed in this video, and same with the natural disasters. So those you can expect in the next couple weeks. I want to just start with the overall ERS. So people coming in for the first time, you may not own the other scripts. These are paid scripts, by the way. You're going to be able to actually play it and use it without having to own everything else, which is not required. So on their webpage here, you have the different types of essential, like plus and all of that. It goes over what it includes, what integrations it includes, and what features it has. So every single tier has different things. So if you're interested in learning about that, you can go to their store here. They did provide me licenses for each version. I would like to thank them for that. Though they have had no creative control over this video, I can make it any way I want. They're not going to be reviewing it prior to release or anything like that. So it's not sponsored, but they did provide the licenses for me to do this. So thank you to the team for doing that. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and do this. And if you are going to purchase this, I'll leave a code they're giving me for like, I don't know what the discount is. It's some amount of discount I can check right now. Let's see. It's going to be code BGHD. You'll get 5 GBP. I don't know what that is in US dollars, but you guys can do the edits for that. But you can see that you can use that code if you're interested. I don't get a kickback from that or anything. That's just something they were willing to let me put in the video if you're interested in using that. So I'll let you do that. Anyway, let's go over kind of their documentation. I always like to look at the documentation prior to installing anything, so just we know what we're going to be getting into in this video. So in here, they do have another tutorial video as well, in addition to mine. This person did the configuration files a lot more. I'm going to do more of the drag and drop, actual like downloading, installing, going through the in-game type of things. So if you're interested in another video, go check that out. Obviously, purchase it from their store. You should read this. If you are using a server with like FTP file accesses or anything, it asks you to unpack it on a local machine and then drag it into your resources folder. The reason for this is FTP can finally kind of mess up every once in a while when it comes to dragging and dropping files directly from a download into a server, then unzipping it on the server. It gets annoying. And if you're on Zap Hosting, make sure to click that Set FTP Permissions button on your server, because otherwise you're going to have errors. So obviously there's a couple of the things that are required for running this resource. It's tested on game build 2944. Test it on that game build. If you want to use it after, go ahead and change it after. But don't use anything older than 2944. Probably not going to work correctly. OneSync is required. I don't know if anybody doesn't have it on at this point. It's pretty default. Some servers will have a dashboard that's like automatically setting it off. It should be on by this point. 90% of resources support it. There's really no reason not to be using OneSync. It is not compatible with Remove Cops AI, so don't use that if you are for some reason using it. It is a standalone script, but it also supports ESX and QB-Core permissions if you're interested in doing that. I don't have either of those on my server. We are going to be using a fresh server with nothing except for vMenu on it, so we're not going to have to worry about that. We're going to go standalone. In terms of installing it, everything is done through Keymaster, so make sure the server that is running your resources that you have bought uses the key for Keymaster attached to that assets. Otherwise, it's not going to start properly because you don't technically own it. So make sure you have that set up. Obviously, if you have this resource, you probably are familiar with Keymaster, but we'll download from Keymaster in a minute. A couple things that you have and can use. You have a Night Discord API. If you're going to be using the MDT as a separate resource, this is required. I'm not going to install this API today. I will install it with our MDT video when it becomes required. I am going to install the subtitles. Why not? I kind of like that idea. We will install the nearest postal map. Well, these both are optional. I'm going to install them. We're not going to install the MDT today. Again, that will be a separate video coming in the next couple weeks. It is required. You can use SmartFire's Lite, Smart Hose Lite. If you, for some reason, already own from London Studios the full version of those scripts. I don't own the full version of Smart Hose, but I do own the full version of SmartFires. So we'll go ahead and install that while we're going through here. There's a couple others that are required. EMS Props is required, so that's a free download online. It's drag and drop. Obviously, the emergency response simulator for this system itself is required. And then an optional flatbed light is also available for you to use if you would like to transport vehicles on the back, type of other things. So we'll go ahead and install that and keep it as the flat game bed, the flat like flatbed truck for the game. We're not going to do anything. And a lot of people have been renaming these folders or putting them in a different folder or something like that. Do not do that. You have to start it in the way they have it here, and all the folders must match the exact name. Otherwise, the script can't call them correctly, and it becomes a lot of problems. So it tells you here exactly what you need to do. We're not going to put Discord API in there. We don't have to worry about that, but we are going to put the subtitles, nearest postal, the map, the Smart Fire, Smart Hose, night shifts. We're not going to do. That's the MDT, EMS Props, and all the other ones. So why don't we go ahead and get started and start downloading these and starting to install these. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy directly from here their server.cfg example, and we'll edit it with Notepad++ and come paste it in here. So this is our server.cfg. This is optional. We're going to just comment this out. We're not doing that today. We're not doing the MDT today, so we're going to comment that out. We can actually just delete it so we keep it easy. So the ones we're going to install are the subtitles, nearest postal, map, Smart Hose Lite, EMS Props, Night ERS, and the flatbed. Since we're going to be doing SmartFire's full version, we're just going to get rid of Lite there. I don't have the full version of Smart Hose, so we'll download the Lite version that's provided when you buy this resource. So we'll go ahead and save this. Now we can actually go ahead and install these resources one by one to make sure everything matches what we just put in there. All right, so now it's time to actually install the resources. I apologize for the air conditioner in the background. It's very hot in here. We're going to skip the API. We're not going to deal with the API today. So the first thing we're going to install is the subtitles resource, and it is drag and drop. There's no configuration required. We're going to go over to Keymaster, and we're going to find that. So we're going to find wherever the subtitles are. Here it is, Night Subtitles. And we're going to go ahead and click the download button. Give it a moment to download, and open it up with our favorite WinZip, 7-zip, WinRAR, whatever you would like to open up your server files with. In here, you can see it has all of these aspects to it. You do not need to deal with any of that. Just drag it in to your resources folder. Night_subtitles, that's it. Very simple, very easy. First step completed in our install. Let's go back to our overview page here. The next one is the nearest postal script, and it has an original post on the forums if you would like to review it and everything. I've covered this resource before, but I'm going to go ahead and download it directly from here. So you can go ahead and direct download the nearest postal script here and direct download the custom map, both from here. So we're going to go ahead and open this up once again, and we're just going to drag it directly into our resources folder. Very simple. In here, you can see there is all of the GitHub files, the config, all of that good stuff. But what you may see here is it says nearest postal here, and it says nearest postal-master. So we're going to rename this folder and make sure it's exactly nearest-postal. It has to match exactly what that is. And then we're going to go ahead and download this postal code map. It has a README in here that shows you how to install it. It's very simple. Map folder, add it in your resources, press start map. That is it. So we're going to go ahead and download this. So we'll go ahead and download, open it up once again, 7-zip, WinZip, WinRAR, and do the exact same thing. Inside of here, you can see there's a map folder. So don't drag this overall folder, drag the second folder in. Perfect. And you can see here, all the files are in there. We've already put that in our server.cfg. We're good here. We've completed that step. Very simple, very easy. It shouldn't take you that long to do. All right, so the next thing we're going to install, we are not doing the MDT, so we can skip that, is SmartFires. If you have the Lite version, it will be provided in Keymaster with the purchase of ERS. If you don't, and you own the full version like I do, I'm going to go ahead and download that full version just to have. But you can see if I go back to page 1, it is a Lite versions here if you need to download and install that if you don't own the full one. So I'm going to go ahead and open this, and then I'm going to create a folder in here, and it's going to be exactly called SmartFires. make sure it's exactly that text. Same that we imported into our server.cfg file earlier. Because if we go in here and we take a look at here, it says make sure it is SmartFires or SmartFires Lite. It has to be one of those two. Don't rename it anything other than that. It will break. Very simple, very easy. We're then going to go back here. I don't have Smart Hose, the full version, so I'll download the light version. And we'll give it a second to download. Let it load. Keymaster's a bit slow today. Open it up again. And once again, we're going to go to our resources folder. In here, you can see it has everything. We're not going to rename this or anything. And drag that straight in. So it's called Smart Hose. Very easy. Smart Hose Lite. We know it is the light version. We go back to our things here. We are now going to download EMS props. We'll go to their forum post. Very simple. Just click that. And it downloads. Open it up with the same thing, WinZip, WinRAR. Drag in that folder. That's simple. In here, you can see it's the stream and FX manifest. You don't have to do anything with it. It's drag and drop. Pretty easy so far. Pretty simple. We can close out of that now. Now, we actually have to install ERS itself and the Flatbeds Lite. So we can go back to our server thing here, and you can see Emergency Response Simulator. Go ahead and download that. While that downloads, because it's going to take 5 seconds, there we go. We're going to open it up, and it's very simple. You can see all of the files are in here. You're just going to drag that in. We'll go through the configuration file in a moment, but for now, just put that right there. Then what we're going to do is we are going to install the Flatbeds Lite. So you can go ahead and get it for free again through here. So we're going to look for the Flatbeds Lite right here, ERS only, and download. Open that up with the file once again. In here, you can see it has client, server, all that good stuff, and paste it in. Very simple, very easy. Close it out. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at what our thing here is, you can see it has ERS on here, Night ERS, EMS props, all of that good stuff. So we have successfully installed the resource, and we can check here. We have everything. We have Night subtitles, we have Nearest Postal, we have Map, we have SmartFires, we have Smart Hose, EMS props, Night ERS, and the Flatbed. All of our resources that we installed is installed into our resources folder. Now we can go ahead and configure it. So the main thing you're going to be configuring is Night ERS. This is going to be the config folder, config.lua. This is your actual resource that runs everything else. So if you need to enable debug for any reason, if you have a different language that you want to use, so there is a translations file if you're interested in setting up different languages. All of that is available in here. They do have some pre-created languages here. So if you want to look at what they have offered, it looks like French, DE. It looks like they have a bunch of different things in here. So if you're interested in having a pre-made one, they do have a couple pre-made ones here. But if you don't have a pre-made one and you want to make your own, you can do that too. And it looks like anybody can kind of collaborate on this, and maybe they'll be able to include it if there's more that people want by default. So anyway, that's available in there if you want to change your languages. You also have a date of birth format. You can do EN or US, whatever you want. You have use imperial system, which is miles. I'm in the US, so I'm going to go ahead and say that's true. And I'm going to change the date of birth format to US as well, because, you know, I'm from the US. There we go. You can see there is a way to do like a routing bucket when you're getting into the server as a player. You don't have to really mess with this. It goes through right here all of the info about this. If for some reason you need to change this or anything like that, go ahead and just edit it toward the documentation here. I don't need to go any of that. This is a home hosted server. We're not doing anything like that. Optional integrations here. So you can see we are not using Discord webhooks or anything. We're not going to use it. So we're going to go ahead and disable that. We are using Nearest Postal. We are using the subtitles one, which is awesome. And then if you're using the MDT, you would enable that there. Since we're not using the MDT or Discord, we're going to change that to false. We're not going to need it in this video. Does everybody have permission to get all callouts, to go on shift, all that? We are not using permissions for ACE, ESX, QB Core, or Discord API. Everything's set to false. Everybody will have permission. We're an open server. If you do permission roles, those are available here through those different options as well. All right. Do you want to use commands and hotkeys, or do you want to do the kind of open menu type thing? You can do different call out blip colors and how big it is. All of that's configurable here. If you're interested, you can change all of these. For our case, we're going to keep it very default. With our call out offers, how far should the callouts be from the playouts? The playouts? I don't know when I'm speaking today. I keep mispronouncing words. The players. How often should they be happened, and how often should it expire after that callout's offered? How long should the dispatch messages be available and be displayed? All of that stuff. How far in distance in GTA meters do you want to order someone to stop or anything like that? Time to auto stop tracking as well. Should you have a 3D text drawing on the screen for that? Should you show blips for entities? I want blips. I'm not going to get rid of them. How often should they flee? How often should they be drunk? Should you be able to disable PvP on the server? Should you have player versus player disabled? Should you disable people's wanted level, engine dispatch, all of that stuff? So I would keep this default unless you have a reason to change it or anything like that. All of this kind of makes sense. Hotkeys and commands. This is where you can configure this. All of the hotkeys are available over on the keyboard page. I'll actually show you this one because it's quite useful. FiveM puts together this very nice keyboard page that goes over every single possible hotkey you can have in your game. So you can go ahead and set this to what you want, but it's pretty simple. Accept callout, complete callout, track units, what menus, who should pull over, what info should pop up and down. All your menu commands are available here. If you have any problems with this, let them know on Discord. I guarantee they would be happy to help you out. Same thing with all of these commands over here for the things. You don't have to worry about this unless you need to change it for any reason. If for some reason you need to change it, you can go in here and change it with all of the different texts and everything. I'm not going to change anything. Shouldn't be useful. What should be the NPC backup driving style? This is the default. You should use that. If you want to ignore speed zones and stop in speed zones and all of that, you can configure this to your liking or set a custom one if you know how to use those NPC driving styles. How fast should be driving and when should they be stopping? Should backup data, like what should the blips be? What should the IDs be? All of that stuff's available here. You can edit the PED data, all of that. So you can edit this to your liking. I have no need to edit it. We're going to keep it completely default across the board for all of these services. We're not going to change anything to do with that. Obviously, there are different options if you want to use different body bags, or if you want to use different methods or like models for your animals. All of that's available here. Same thing here, driving style, how they should flee, all of that. If you want custom emotes, you can go ahead and set that up different from what they have custom already. How often should people survive when you're giving them CPR? And then this is kind of where the fire stuff comes in. So how big should the fires be? How big should the smoke be? What are the different types of fires? Do you want to have chemical fires? Do you want to have normal fires? So if I don't want chemical fires, I can remove that, since I don't know if my units will be carrying any chemical type, the special fire extinguishers for chemical fires. All of that is available to be changed here. What's your smoke type? What's your foggy smoke type? All of that. When you arrest someone, should you show it in a GTA style arrest? All of that type of stuff. What's the different custody locations? If you have custom PDs, add them in here. Should you have incident blips? All of that's available. Pullover settings. What's the chance to pull over? 25% that they flee. I would probably, being a city as big as Los Santos is, lower that a little bit. Because in real life, 90% of people aren't going to flee. It's only like the 10% that flee if they're actually doing something wrong. Should you have a pullover marker to show where that pullover is going to happen? You can enable that as well. Should you be able to spawn the structure everywhere from any vehicle, or should you be only allowing it to be from the set vehicles like ambulances? That's what that toggle is. You can kind of go through this and figure out what you want. What are the different types of licenses? So obviously, if you need to translate this, you can. What's your different warrants or flags and markers and stuff like that? Like, let's say I'm LAPD. these results are not going to come up as abusive behavior. They come up as officer flags or something like that. They actually call it in LA code 6 Charles suspects, and it just means they have a flag on their account or are wanted or something like that. So if you have any unique types of language, you can go ahead and configure it to those likings. Here you go. You have every item you can have inside of the people, and you can say if it's illegal or not. If you want to add custom items, you can do that as well. Change if they're enabled, all of that stuff. Callouts and sounds are all available here. I am not going to mess with this. I am not a person to mess with any of this. But if you're interested in editing the sounds or anything like that, you can do that. Same here. All of this is sound related. There's so many sound related, so you don't have to do that. And then don't worry about the debug section. It's really not needed. So that is the full configure file. You could obviously configure a lot about this resource, but there's not much that I'm going to configure today because we're just going to do the default. There is a gear config as well. Do you want gear enabled? Do you want weapons and clothing available inside the police stations and all of that? If you do, you can set this up. You can also change the models, so you can change the models they become, what gear they have, the type of weapons they have, flashlights, stun guns, nightsticks, combat pistols. If you have a custom pistol on your server, you want to give it to the cops, you can do that here. All configurable. You also have a list of names. There is a lot of names, and then you have a list of street names. So if you are interested in changing any of this or anything like that, you can go ahead and set that up. So what I'm going to do is I would like to add my name to this just for fun. I don't really have a reason, but I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to add my name. It's Stefan. So I'm going to add my name Stefan in here, and then that's my name. There we go. Now a person in the game may be named my name, which is pretty cool. And then we can go into our entity config over here. Again, this is just the different helicopters, bicycles, cops, and police vehicles. So if you have custom police vehicles you want to spawn, you should set those here. I don't have any in this server since it's a plain server for this video, but when I convert this over to our recording server, you will see that. Animals, random pets, all of that is available to change inside this file. You can look into it if you want. Whatever you want to configure can be configured. It's pretty much what it comes down to. Before we go ahead and actually hop in game and check this out, we're just going to go ahead back to the wiki real quick. It goes over a lot of how to edit these files. They recommend using VS Code to edit it. I use Notepad++. Both work pretty equally well. It's kind of a personal preference on whatever you want to use to edit these files and actually go over everything. There is a lot of notes in there, so if you want to edit or remove something, just read it all, make a good understanding. You can make custom callouts. I don't have plans right now to make callouts, but if that changes, I'll let everybody know. I'm more of a C# guy in coding, not Lua, so if you're interested in making stuff in Lua, obviously it goes over that. There's an example configure file on how you can do that and what weapons you can have and how you create entities, entity behavior. All of that's available for you to edit and update. You could also do event triggers. So if there is something you want to do specifically, you can go to this file and it goes over like when someone accepts a callout or arrives at callouts. You can have custom options there. Same with the client side. If there's things you want to edit customly on client side, you can do that as well. And then these are the included props and links to them. FAQ over on all of their stuff is also available. And then it goes over compatibility. Some don't work. This one, Remove Cops AI, does not work. So make sure you don't have that one, but most people running this probably won't. So you're good to go. We're good to start up. There's nothing else. It's very standalone. The default ERS does not require a database, but the MDT does, but we'll go over that in a future video. So if we go ahead and start up our server here, we're going to give it a second to load up and everything. And we're going to just check our scripts inside of here. So you can see there's a bunch of stuff starting up here. So you can see we have subtitles, nearest postal, map, smart fires, smart hose, and you can see smart hose light has been approved for integration with ERS. Smart hose, EMS props, night ERS, flatbeds. So you can see this is the ERS only light version. You can purchase the full version there. ERS detected, have fun. And then you have things like the version check. So the version is up to date. The config is up to date. And you can see that the MDT is disabled. The smart fires integration is fully enabled for the full version. And the smart hose is light version. And you can buy the full version if you're interested. So very easy. Now we can actually hop in game and try it out. All right, so we are in game here, and I got ourselves into the armory. Pretty simple to get on duty. We're going to do toggle shift, and then it's going to be like, oh, hey, we're going on duty. So we get to be police, ambulance, fire, or tow. We're going to be police. So we'll go ahead and select police, and you can see in the bottom right, it says dispatch message. I started my shift. We can go ahead and come in here, and we can ask for our gear. So we walk up here, press E. Then we can go ahead and get our default things. So should we do our police, MP ped, mail, whatever we want. So you can do multiplayer ped, or you can do default. I don't have a ped, gear. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I have gotten my gear. So you can see I'm all set. I got my character, all of that good stuff. So if we go ahead and run outside, we need to get ourselves a vehicle. I don't have any custom vehicles, so we're going to be stuck driving this stupid looking original police vehicles in today's video. So let's go ahead and spawn ourselves a police vehicle. Let's see here. Let me find police emergency. We'll go the default police cruiser because it is terrible looking and I don't like it. So obviously when we get this on our recording server, it's gonna be a little bit different. You can kind of pick what you want to handle, create custom callouts. So we're gonna request a callout with /request callout.
We've received another emergency call. Are there any units free to handle it?
Person being kidnapped by a
You've been
driver.
tasked with responding to the latest emergency call. Make your way to the scene.
All right, here we go. So we have all the details on the screen there. You can see I'm responding to a call. We have the caller's name. It's going to be attended to reports of a person being kidnapped by a taxi driver. So their location was Los Santos Freeway. So it looks like they're on the freeway and I went the wrong way, which is going to be very bad for our response time. Map there, you can see the circles start appearing where we're investigating for this incident. Looks like it's actually off the freeway, on the dirt road up there. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut over, and then you can see it shows different stats over on the left hand side. You can see vehicle tasks remaining, subjects tasks remaining. So we're gonna go ahead and attempt to stop this vehicle by getting close to it and then pressing left shift, and then it's going to attempt to lock in that vehicle to pull over. It looks like they're taking off from us. So this is going to be one where we're going to actually have to end this pursuit because they have taken off from us. So I'm going to attempt to pull over that vehicle again. You can see that little yellow highlight. That is the attempt to stop icon. There we go. So the vehicle will now stay in front of you and find a suitable place to pull over. Just a note internally here, this is a mimic, so the vehicle will follow exactly what you're doing. So you should safely pull to the right and then they will stop directly in front of you on the right. I didn't realize that when I was recording this, so I ran him into a fence a couple times before I realized. So I'm gonna skip ahead till when I actually stopped him. Let's go ahead and talk to this driver. So it's a mimic. Interesting to know. Hello. So we can greet them. We can ask for their ID. Let's go ahead and greet them.
Hello, how are you today?
Let's go ahead and get their ID.
Can I have your ID, please?
Thank you for your ID. Marita James. And you can see it's going to do that database check. Shows that he does not have any, he doesn't have a license. He has no warrants, nothing else. So we're going to go ahead and interact with this guy. We're going to ask him to, let's go ahead and get out. So can I say, follow me, please?
Follow me.
Oh, so I got her ID. Okay, do you mind just, can you just wait here?
Wait here.
Thank you. Let me see if I can interact with him now.
Hello there.
Let's see, can I get his ID, please?
Can I have your ID, please?
Thank you. All right, so this is the actual driver. So he has a revoked license. So why don't we go ahead and get him out as well? So we're going to go ahead and get him out of the car.
Follow me.
Let's get over here, please. Come right over here. Thank you, sir. Beige, yes, I do, actually. Let's go ahead and, can I have your hands up,
in
please?
the air.
Thank you. And then we're going to go ahead and search you, sir.
I am going to perform a search on you. Are there any items which can potentially cause harm or are prohibited that you would like to declare before I proceed?
All right, so he has explosives on him. Okay, well, you're going to jail now, sir. So we're going to go ahead
Turn
and
around so I can work on these cuffs.
put him in cuffs. Because you, sir, are going to jail today. So we're going to go ahead and walk here back to our vehicle. We're going to release him, interact with him here,
Step into the back of
and
the vehicle.
put in vehicle. Very simple. All right, now we're going to go ahead and talk to her. She wasn't driving or anything. We have nothing to do anything with her, so we're going to end
You
our
may go now.
conversation and have her leave the scene.
Hey, we need to talk.
Now she's going to be on the phone. Very simple, very easy.
I don't like nobody playing on my phone.
You can do page up and page down to hide that little thing on the side, by the way, if you need to do anything with that. Now, obviously, this guy's now in the back. I'll just
Please
show off. You
blow
can
into
do
the device.
breathalyzers and drug tests and everything. So you can see he was in the
Please
legal
open
limit.
your mouth for a mouth swab drug
And
test.
we'll do a drug test, and he's not under the influence of drugs. Very simple. So we can send him to custody. We can exit this interaction. We don't have to deal with anything with that. Pretty simple, pretty easy. All right. So if you press X, it will let you complete the call out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and say, yes, we completed that call
Your
out.
unit has been disengaged.
And
from
then
the
it
previous
did
call-out.
delete the vehicle. So if you could obviously do tow and whatever else if you wanted to. But we've deleted that because our call out's completed. And you could transport him, do everything as well. So you shouldn't be ending that call out until after it is all complete. Let's go ahead and get an emergency ambulance. And I can kind of show you how this one does. So toggle shift. We'll do ambulance service. We've started our shift as an ambulance service. So we're going to do request call out.
A new emergency call came in. Are any units available to respond?
A
I have
severe
attached you
bike
to the latest
accident.
emergency call.
We'll go
Please
ahead
make
and
your way.
respond to this. So to keep time easy, I'm going to just go ahead and kind of drive and fly a little ways closer here, just because I don't want this video to be too long. And we're almost on scene. So in theory, you would have a lot of units on. You'd have someone playing police. You would have a bunch of people playing fire, EMS, tow operators, all that good stuff. So you could interact and do all of that as well. So you can see up here, it looks like they were actually on this dirt trail. So we're coming up here. All right. Sir, do you need help? Oh, that doesn't look good. So you can go ahead and press E to interact. You can check for massive bleeding. So let's check for some bleeding. This person does not have massive bleeding. Very good. That's a good sign. You can see my guy patting him down there. We're going to go ahead and check if he's breathing at all. That would probably be a good thing. Okay, so their breathing rate is abnormal. They must visit the hospital ASAP. Okay, so we know this person's very injured. They need help. So why don't we go ahead and put them on a stretcher? So I need to actually get a stretcher, so hold on. Hold there, sir. I'll be with you in a moment. I forgot what button it is. Hold on, H. So you're going to go ahead and press H. Grab the stretcher. Run it over here. You can lower it. And then we can go ahead and ungrab it. Press E. Place him on the stretcher. Come on, sir. There you go. Hold there. You can stay there. Oh, no. I want to grab it. Let me grab it. So let's... Oh, raise that up. There we go. And then I will grab this. Make sure to raise the stretcher, otherwise it's not going to work. Run it back over to the ambulance, because this is how you do it. Press H to put it inside. There we go. You can see the stretcher back there. And we can respond to the nearest hospital, which is no, that's not the nearest hospital. That is the fire that's active, an active fire right now. So we can take him to the closest hospital, which is going to be probably Sandy Shores. So I'm gonna just fly over to Sandy, at least very close to Sandy. Grab the stretcher with him standing on it and press enter. Victim rescued. Very easy, very simple. And then he'll disappear. All right, and then you can obviously just grab this, put it back in the ambulance, and you're good to go. Now that we've transported him, we can go ahead and press X and end the call out.
Your unit has been disengaged from the previous call out.
And it's very easy. I kind of want to showcase in this video is the backup menu. So if you go and press X, it gives you the option to request an ambulance, request a vehicle transport, police transport, animal rescue, coroner, road service unit, taxi, or for wounded people. So let's go ahead and test this out, shall we? So let me go ahead and grab some weapons. Ow, 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 ow. So let's say you have a person who has suffered a gunshot wound, right? And then we're going to go ahead and interact with this person, but we're first going to call some backup. So we're going to go ahead and call for EMS backup. We need some medical backup here. This person doesn't look good, obviously. And we're also going to tow this vehicle. So why don't we go ahead and vehicle transport for this vehicle. So here comes our ambulance. And here comes our tow truck. I don't know where the tow truck is. I think he's a block away. I see him over there. He's coming this way. So here comes the medic. He's going to come take care of this guy. This girl. Who is not looking good. How does he look, guy? He's like, I don't know about that. And here's the tow truck. So the tow truck obviously is going to pick up this vehicle. He's been assigned to pick up this vehicle. There you go. And the ambulance is going to actually transport her. So there you go. She's still alive, apparently. So we got one transported. And then we got a tow truck. And the scene is clear. Pretty simple. Pretty easy. Pretty cool. So that's pretty much kind of how everything works. Obviously, you can do /hose if you're fighting a fire. If you need to do anything else, you can obviously look at all of the configure files, change anything around, create your own custom callouts. I will go on the MDT video in the next couple of weeks and kind of showcase a little bit more of the script along with some other people who are playing. We can do some animal rescues and all of that stuff. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hopefully this did help you install this, and I will see you in the next video in a couple of days. See you then. Bye.